Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so happy to welcome to the Doralicious Show for the very first time the exceptional, and I use this adjective with great meaning, George Perris. George, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for having me.
How are you? How's New York?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm actually in New York after a year and a half of absence because of COVID. And even though I was here for the first lockdown, I was here for the first 4 or 5 months, and then I went back to Greece. So I'm very excited to be back. It's one of my favorite places in the world. So it gives me a lot of joy to be here.
And you also love Montreal, I hear.
Ah, Montreal and Canada in general. I mean, I've had some of my best moments in Canada, and especially Montreal, because Montreal was the first place um, that I got to sing outside of Greece when I was very young. Nearly, my God, 10 years ago. My first French record was 10 years ago, and it was the first country and city that embraced me. I did my first concerts outside of Greece, in Montreal, in Quebec City, in Toronto, in Ottawa. So I have incredible memories. And actually, the most touching memory I have was at the end of the tour.
Okay.
The last concert which we filmed was in Montreal, and this Greek guy said "Namazisis," which
Oh.
was something that touched me so much. And then there was a French Canadian fan, a lovely girl, who came and said to me, "Don't forget, you're now one of ours. You're not just Greek." And I thought it was so moving, so touching. That's why Canada is in my heart, and it always will be in my heart.
I'm so glad we can share that connection in a little way. I always say, εμάς τα παιδιά του εξωτερικού, we're like cousins almost with each other.
That's very true. That's very true. And it's funny that I don't consider myself apódimos ellismos, because I was born and raised in Greece. I was there till my mid-20s, and that's when I started traveling. But I can feel it, and there's a very special bond with all the Greek Americans or the Greek Canadians or the Greek Australians as well, that I've met in my life. It's true that we're like cousins. We have this. There's a silent code.
Exactly. It unites us. Almost. I have a dream. Νέα διασκευή
Yes.
των ABBA with a lot of Greekness to it. How did that come about?
So that's the first single from my new album, which will be released in 2022, early 2022. And the concept of the record was, I wanted to do, because of COVID and because of everything that we went through, I felt a personal need to go back to my roots, to go back to the songs that shaped who I am. And that's why I decided to do this record, which mostly consists of covers of some of songs that that have existed in my blood since I was 3 or 4 years old. Songs that have shaped my character and who I am, and a few original songs, but that are equally important to me because they're written by Greeks. So the concept of this record was to, sound-wise, was to bring Greece to my international fans. And that's why all the songs have been arranged in a very Greek way. So we've used traditional instruments like bouzouki or kanonaki or even the clarinet, but in a way that only the Greeks know how to play. So every song on the record has a very distinct Greek identity. And we're combining this with my new TV special, which actually will start airing on PBS in America in a few days, which was filmed in an ancient temple, and I will tell you more about that in a while. So, "I Have a Dream" is the first single from this record, and to me, it symbolizes just this incredible thirst for hope that we all have. And that song, ever since I was a kid, I remember hearing from ABBA, and I remember that it would give me such joy to think that, you know what, I believe in angels. Yeah, maybe they're around me and they're protecting me, and it gave me strength, and it gave me the will to move on. And that's why I wanted to introduce this new album with this song specifically.
And let me congratulate you, not because you're doing only what you love and your passion, but you're bringing into our culture to an international stage for recognition. You both
Oh, thank you.
what we do. Λοιπόν, πάμε σε διαλυματάκι, and when we're back, I want you to answer one thing. What is your
Sure.
dream? Stay tuned.
What is mine? Sorry?
Dream.
Oh.
Stay tuned.
I have a dream, a fantasy to help me through reality.
So, George Mo, what is your dream?
Oh, there's too many to be counted or mentioned. I think that the day that I will stop dreaming is the day that I will die. I will lock myself in my bedroom and just wait to die. No, seriously. I think that if there's one thing I've learned in my life is that you can never underestimate the power of a dream. I would have never imagined all these places that I went to, all these people that I worked with, and everything that I've done in the last few years, if it hadn't been for my dreams, and even with that TV special that I was telling you before, it started with a dream. I saw in my dream that I was singing in an ancient temple, and everybody told me to forget about it because it's impossible. It's never been done before in the history of Greece. It's never been allowed. And there was no way I was going to get it until it wasn't impossible. And it happened. So, I have many, many, many dreams, especially as far as music is concerned. There's albums that I want to do. There's stages that I want to perform. There's collaborations that I want to do. And then as far as my personal life is concerned, I want a family. I definitely want kids at some point. I don't know how they're going to come, whether I'm going to adopt them or if it's going to be a surrogate mother, but I know I want a family. I want kids. And I dream of accepting myself a little more because I've been too harsh with me. So I dream that as time goes by, I'll be a little more lenient with me.
Listen, you have a lot of successes to celebrate, to back you up. In terms
of thank you. I'm not sure. Unfortunately, I am incapable of seeing anything as a success. The minute it happens and maybe someone else defines it as a success, my brain always goes to what we could have done differently. It's not good enough. Maybe we need something else. And that, unfortunately, and I say that with a lot of honesty, is a big heavy load on my shoulders because I am almost always incapable of being content.
And that's why you get better and better every time.
Or more of a psychopath every time.
So let me ask you about Egina, because if I'm not mistaken, you went to Egina and you recorded at the temple.
Yes, that's where we did it. It's called the Temple of Aphea, which is the Acropolis's small sister, because it was built right before the Acropolis, but by the same architects. So this temple has been there for 2,500 years. It's in perfect condition. It's one of the few temples that is actually in nearly perfect condition. I can't even begin to describe to you how difficult it was to film there because, of course, the archaeological committee had very strict rules about us doing that. We had to literally count the centimeters for the stage, for the technicians, for the cameras, for the crew, for everything was, it was inch by inch, and we had to respect it 100%. And that's why I'm very grateful to the Greek National Tourism Organization, and especially the General Secretary, Mr. Dimitris Fragakis, because he shared my vision about this project the minute we met. Because I have to tell you, before meeting with him, I got many closed doors. A lot of people said no. And thank God, when I saw him, he immediately said yes. And he turned this into his own personal project. And that's why it was so successful. And I'm very proud that they're going to use a segment of the show to promote Greece around the world. It's going to be a part of the touristic campaign for Greece. So it fills me with immense joy and pride.
Είναι αυτό που λέει ο Πάολο Κοέλιο, όταν θέλεις κάτι πολύ, το σύμπαν συνομωτεί so that you can get it. And you got it.
Yeah, but you have to really, really want it. Πρέπει να το θέλεις τόσο πολύ, even when it seems impossible.
And let me tell you, θα σου πω ένα μυστικό. Every time I hear your voice, I can picture my γιαγιά sitting in the corner of her couch, waiting for her show to start, singing Καρδιά κοίτα.
Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, thank you.
Like
That's one of the sweetest compliments.
That's my vision.
Will you give her a big, big kiss from me then?
Θα της το δώσω, γιατί με έχει εγκαταλείψει, έχει πάει στην Ελλάδα και δεν έρχεται να με προσέχει.
Γύρισε πια. Θα της δώσεις ένα μεγάλο φιλί από μένα. That was a beautiful song. Written by two women that I adore, Evanthia Reboutsika and Lina Nikolakopoulou, who are two pillars of Greek music. And we did a whole record together. And of course, this song is a duet with the great George Dalaras, which was also another huge moment of joy and pride for me, because, you know, the 5-year-old kid inside me, you know, was partying that, oh my God, I got to sing with George Dalaras.
Λοιπόν, πάμε να το ακούσουμε, and when we're back, I want you to tell me, how did that feel? Your collaboration with George Dalaras? Because he's very particular with who he worked with. Μένουμε συντονισμένοι, George Perris, exclusively for the Doralicious Show, Happy Greek Radio. And we're back with George Perris, εδώ στο Doralicious Show for Happy Greek Radio. So, George Dalaras, how was that?
It was incredible because, you know, we asked him to do the song and he immediately said yes, and he came into the studio, and after a couple of takes, he says to me, you know what? You've sung the song so beautifully that I don't want to ruin it for you. And I was looking at him, I couldn't understand what he was saying. How could he possibly ruin the song? And then he said, you know what? Εγώ θα σου κάνω μόνο δεύτερες φωνές, θα σου κάνω αρμονίες. So, you know, it's an incredible honor because, you know, we all dream of εμείς να κάνουμε δεύτερες φωνές στο George Dalaras, not the other way around. And he was so humble and so kind that I will never forget his generosity, but also I will never forget, you know, the attention to detail. He would precisely cater for every single note. And that is something that I truly appreciate in him.
And you're humble yourself. Like we've only chatted for a little bit, but that's an adjective that totally describes you.
I don't know about that. That's for other people to say, not for me.
Να σου πω, 18 months later of the pandemic, what do you think the pandemic taught you?
It taught me many things. The first thing that really, you know, was striking to me was how easily my priorities came to the surface. The people that were important to me, the people that were not as important to me, the people that had to go because they were in my life for no reason. And it all happened magically. At the same time, you know, I was actually here in New York when the first lockdown happened, and I really went heads on and started taking care of myself because I realized that over a period of 10 years, it was the first time that I was staying in the same city for more than 2 weeks. It hadn't happened in 10 years at all. So, you know, I started cleaning the house. I started cleaning my brain. You know, I focused on my psychoanalysis because I've been doing therapy. I had started therapy 3 years ago, but this was the right time for me to just really focus on it. So I learned that, you know, no matter what, life goes on. Especially one day, I'll never forget, it was in May. I went down to go shopping, and all of a sudden, the trees had bloomed. And I thought, you know what? We may have pandemics. We may have, the economies may, you know, completely collapse around the world. But you know what? Spring will come, whether we like it or not. Spring will be here. The trees will blossom, and it's a sign that, you know, life goes on, whether we want it or not. Life just is, we're so little, we're nothing
compared to what's out there. And that was a big lesson for me. And the fact also, the other thing that I learned was that I have to make a point out of making time for myself. Even when the frenzy is back, even when I'm on tour or recording or traveling back and forth, it's important to have time for yourself, time to cook, time to clean your place, time to, work on your mental health. It's very important.
It was a massive restart for a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
and we needed it. So, what's next for you?
What's next for me is this new album, this new international album, because it's a multilingual album. It's mainly in English, but then we have a whole bunch of bonus tracks in other languages, in French, in Spanish, in German, for different countries. So we have the promotion of this record, which is going to keep me busy for the next few months. And then the TV special, the PBS special, which will start airing in America, but it will also be aired in many countries around the world, hopefully in Canada as well. And then I have a few shows back in Greece.
Next year, I will be doing an international tour with quite a few dates around the world.
Does that include Canada, or we don't know?
Yes, for sure.
Oh,
It will definitely include Canada.
Well, we're very excited to host you back here, and maybe Toronto will win you over. Who knows?
You never know. I mean, I never said I didn't love Toronto. I love it. It's a beautiful city, and I played in a beautiful hall as well. It's a beautiful, beautiful city.
Bon, it's a challenge. Next time you're here, we're going to show you the real Toronto.
All right, I'm in.
Γιώργο, θέλω να σε ευχαριστήσω τόσο πολύ για τη συντροφιά σου, για την παρέα σου και για την καλή σου ενέργεια.
Ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ και εγώ εσένα. It takes two to tango.
And good luck with the album. We can't wait to playing all your songs here for our listeners on Agape Greek Radio across Canada. And
thank you so much. Thank you, and see you soon.